Fam, what's going on? It is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Can I get a roll tide? Inside the comment box, you wanted good news? Well, here is the good news. Jaylen Mbakwe is staying at Alabama. I told you there was good news that was going to be coming, and this is it. So yesterday, news heard round the world. Even I saw a story on the New York Times about Jaylen Mbakwe entering the transfer portal. He is no longer in the transfer portal, and he is staying at Alabama. That is the lead today on Tuesday, December 17th on this breaking news report. And I think when you look to prospects that hit the transfer portal, this was one that Alabama was not going to let get away, right? Jaylen Mbakwe, in terms of what he brings, his overall upside, and I think the fact that him and Ryan Williams it's like a combo piece. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to take away Jaylen Mbakwe. And Ryan Williams made sure that didn't happen. I think Ryan Williams, look, let's call it what it is. I think Nick Saban is the most important person in Tuscaloosa, maybe Nate Oates, but right there is Ryan Williams. And what Ryan Williams wants, Ryan Williams get. And I think that, it's pretty ironic. I think the biggest recruiter for Ryan Williams to come to Alabama was Jaylen Mbakwe, right? Best friends, guys battled against each other. And then in this particular time, when Jaylen Mbakwe is maybe thinking about going somewhere else for a business decision, it was Ryan Williams that stood up and was able to come through and help work things out for Jaylen Mbakwe to stay here at Alabama. Does it set a precedent in terms of players going somewhere else? I think that already exists. Like, look, I mean, and you talk about this, the new wave and all this stuff. Yo, that stuff is going to explode. This could have, who knows? Could this have been, put together? I mean, these guys are geniuses. I would love to see Zachariah Branch come on down, right? You need a wide receiver. How about Zachariah Branch? And look, I have no idea because I've seen it out there that Jaylen Mbakwe maybe play some wide receiver or something like that. I don't know if that's true. I've seen that out there. I don't know if it's true. But what is true is Jaylen Mbakwe is staying with the University of Alabama, which I think is really significant news. And I think when I'm going to show you a graphic in terms of the prospects that are transferred out. And a lot of guys are making commitments now. But this is one you couldn't let go away. So Alabama, not broke, figured out. And I don't know if they matched it. These are things that we don't. Let's go over the facts, okay? The facts are that Jaylen Mbakwe is staying. The facts are Jaylen Mbakwe did have plans to enter the transfer portal. He might have been in the transfer portal for a short time. I think what we don't know is if Ole Miss was really the team trying to lure him away. What we don't know is if Alabama matched some sort of offer out there. We don't know that. But we also know the fact is Jaylen Mbakwe says that he is here to stay. In-state guy comes in with Ryan Williams, and you have Jaylen Mbakwe. Biggest news of the day is that he is staying. And I think this is news that is positive for Alabama football fans, considering all the kind of the leakage. You want to talk about the transfer portals going out. It's going to happen next year too. Guys are going to leave. There's going to be heartbreaks that we suffer. This is just the part of the college football fabric. All programs are going through it. But there's certain guys that you can't let go. And I think this kind of shows us too, if Alabama really wants to keep you, if Alabama has plans for you, if Alabama can see you in the future, they are going to do what they need to do and flex and keep you to stay here. And again, I have no idea if they match some sort of offer. We don't know that. We don't know if it was Ole Miss or somebody else. All we know is that he is staying. So, and we don't know if this is going to cause issues in the locker room. We have no idea about any of that stuff. But we do know that Ryan Williams is happy. And we do know that Jaylen Mbakwe is happy. And I'm curious to see what kind of role that he plays, not only in the future, but for the bowl game. You have Damani Jackson there. You have Xavier Brown. Maybe he can play this Husky position. I mean, if you know anything about Jaylen Mbakwe, you know how athletic he is as an individual. So significant news this afternoon on Tuesday, December 17th. And a lot happened within these last 24 hours. And I'm sure there was some heavy talks. From what I heard, there was some mega meetings that took place. Some people were saying that that there was one particular major donor that stepped up. We don't know that. That's kind of out there. Clearly, Courtney Morgan was involved, the general manager, right? Kalen DeBoer, right, wanted to keep Ryan Williams, Jaylen Mbakwe together. So we'll continue to keep you posted. But that is the lead today. Jaylen Mbakwe staying with the University of Alabama. Could I get a Roll Tide inside the comment box? And it looks like EJ inside the comment box is saying that Brody Smooth is reporting that he's transitioning to wide receiver. Man, you know what? If you look to the wide receivers, and I'm going to show you a graphic about the wide receivers. Man, that would be great to see him as a wide receiver, because I think you only have 5 wide receivers that are on scholarship for this upcoming bowl game. Dave, what's up, man? You look tired? Oh, no, I'm good, man. Those 4:30 workouts, that's what has me tired. Smokey's asking, do I think Ryan threatened to leave? I don't think so. I think that Ryan, and I don't know any of this that's factual. The only thing that we know is factual right now is that Jaylen Mbakwe is staying. I would imagine, though, that Ryan Williams played a huge part here. I would imagine that a big donor played a part here. I live in Tuscaloosa. I see the Maseratis driving around. I see the Ferraris driving around. There's people here that, not only here, but in the state of Alabama, elsewhere, that are alumni that will come to bat for somebody like Jaylen Mbakwe. In-state guy, quality individual. You don't want Ole Miss to get him. I don't know if that was a school, but it seemed like. I saw the recruiting coordinator tweeted out, bingo, we got action as well. Do you see that? I didn't even see what he posted on his Instagram. I'll go over it right now. If there's anything significant, I'll bring it here. Jaylen Mbakwe. But good to have it. Oh, he posted Wolf of Wall Street. So Jaylen Mbakwe's Instagram has Wolf of Wall Street. I'm not leaving. So there you have it. Good to see some good news this afternoon for the Alabama Crimson Tide. I appreciate you guys being here. If you're just checking in, Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube with some breaking news that Jaylen Mbakwe is staying. That's the lead story up at the top of your screen. I'm going to go over some other visitors that are up in the house. I appreciate you guys being here. Wade saying that the recruiting coordinator deleted it. Yeah, so what Wade is talking about and what I just referenced, the Ole Miss recruiting coordinator tweeted out, bingo, we got action, but with the shark. I couldn't find it, so I guess she deleted it. A lot of people saw that. Appreciate you guys, everybody checking in late, but the lead story is up at the highlighted mark. And Mbakwe staying at the University of Alabama, all right? I put on the bottom of the screen kind of some headlines that are going. So if you're watching this full screen on your phone, these are kind of the trending headlines that I'm going to hit on today. And these are things that are happening. So just kind of a heads up. There's like a scrolling ticker of the transfer portal news because there's a lot of items to go over. I get it. And don't get overwhelmed. And honestly, if you have a question about the transfer portal or something or a player, go ahead and post it inside the comment box during the show, and I'll get to you as I can. But don't be afraid to ask a question. There's no such thing as a bad question. I promise you. Joshua Ray is asking about any news on KC Concepcion. Not at this point in time. I think he's going to a couple different places to go see which place could fit best. I'm sure you guys saw that Zachariah Branch and his brother are in the transfer portal. I think that Zachariah Branch is that is, whoo, man. You imagine you get Isaiah Horton from Miami who's been predicted to come to Alabama. He's a wide receiver, 6'4". You get Ryan Williams. I guess Jaylen Mbakwe if he transitions to wide receiver. B-Rob is saying Mbakwe better put Travis Hunter. Yeah, what's up, man? Antoine Rivers, what's up, man? I appreciate you being here. Yo, let's see. People are saying, I think it was Brody Smoot who does a really good job on social media. And people are saying that he might play wide receiver. I have no idea. I haven't seen that yet. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, this is a guy who has tremendous athleticism. Talking about Jaylen Mbakwe. Let me hit on some other guys that I have on the board right here, and then we'll talk about a couple different items. So, Nikhil Green, he is visiting at some point this week. He's a all Big 12 inside linebacker. Now, as I've explained several different times, I think when you look to priority of needs in terms of positions that you want to go to the transfer portal, the right tackle position is huge. Nikhil Green is an inside linebacker, which is also another huge area that I think you need. And as we've discussed in terms of roster management, depending on the health status of Deontay Lawson, eventually he's going to be healthy, but if he comes back and you get a, Nikhil Green, who had a tremendous season for Colorado this past year, 82 tackles, 11.5 tackles for loss with 2 sacks. He's been a lot of different places, and the tie-in is to Courtney Morgan because a couple years ago he played for Michigan, and then he went to Charlotte, and then he went to Buffalo, then he went to Colorado, and he's visiting Alabama. And some of these targets that Alabama really hasn't hit on, they're not really misses. I think this would be a great addition, to be honest. So keep posted to your recruiting sites. Nikhil Green visiting, which I think is very significant news, to be honest. And he's like I said, 3 seasons at Michigan, 1 season at Charlotte, 1 season in Colorado. Maybe he finishes out here in Tuscaloosa. Talking about the news right now, and Jaylen Mbakwe, if you're just checking in, staying at Alabama. You have a Utah corner that is visiting. His name is Cameron Calhoun. He also has ties to Michigan, but he was just recently at Utah where he had 21 tackles, almost 400 snaps. He had an actual pretty good grade in Pro Football Focus, 76.3. I don't know if he comes in to play a Husky-type position. Hey, Armand, what's up, man? I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Respect to you. Hey, Lawrence, what's up, man? I see you inside the comment box. Well, you know what, Lawrence? You got the PhD, man, so your intelligence doesn't allow you to panic, right? Max Tooney, I see you inside the comment box. Josh Ray, so basically Mbakwe just wanted money. I don't know. I mean, I think the way that we initially covered the story and how we viewed it was probably that the 7-figure deal, that, hey, if somebody offers you a huge bag, you're going to take it. But what we don't know is we don't know if Alabama matched it. We don't even know if there was really a 7-figure deal. You see what I'm saying? Like, maybe there was, heavy interest from somebody else, and then Alabama made some adjustments. Maybe they restructured whatever they're giving Jaylen Mbakwe. I have no idea. Your guess is as good as mine. And the thing is, we're never going to know. But guess what? We get to hear from Coach Kalen DeBoer tomorrow. They're speaking to the media on Wednesday. That should be interesting. So Utah corner Cameron Calhoun is visiting at some point this week, as is Nikhil Green, who's an inside linebacker out of Colorado. Another name to keep tabs on is Cam Dewberry out of Texas A&M, another prospect that looks to be visiting the Alabama Crimson Tide. 6'4", 330 pounds. Look, this guy played left guard, left tackle, right guard, 261 snaps this past season with Texas A&M. Didn't have the best Pro Football Focus grade, but maybe Alabama needs somebody in the offensive line. I don't know if this is him. Look, players can have breakthroughs, but I don't know. I still would like to see them go after a really high caliber offensive lineman, like a right tackle that is like a first-round draft pick type guy. I would love nothing more than to have a quarterback that can operate Coach Kalen DeBoer's offense with Caden Proctor and somebody equivalent to him at the right tackle position. Is that an early Christmas wish? Probably. Hey, Country Live, 739. What's up, man? I appreciate you being here. Max, what's going on? So a 17-year-olds run the program. I don't know. 17-year-old's pretty powerful, though. Just think if Coach Kalen DeBoer didn't get Ryan Williams. You ever think about that? Hey, Roy, Josh Folk Jr., what's up, man? All I know is this is the type of money Mbakwe better be an All-American next season. Clint Ingle, what's up, man? Big-time USC wide receiver Zachariah Branch just got in the portal. I know. That was one that I saw, and I was like, oh, damn. You imagine if Alabama was able to get Zachariah Branch? That'd be crazy. I mean, you know what's crazy is Coach Kalen DeBoer has a lot of West Coast ties, right? Let's see where Zachariah Branch is out of. And his brother, too, right? Zachariah Branch, yeah, I mean, shoot. Went to Bishop Gorman out of Las Vegas, Nevada. I mean, Coach Kalen DeBoer, I mean, you know who else they just brought in from Bishop Gorman? Derek Meadows, right? You got West Coast ties. Trainwreck is talking about a target as well out of Washington. Let's pull up a couple graphics real fast. Here's the overall board. I'll update Jaylen Mbakwe right here. I'll take him off. So you have 14 in the portal. Those are the new numbers. You have a couple different pieces of news that I'll hit on real quick after I take Jaylen Mbakwe out. So hold your hand over this. He's off. 14 in the portal. Kobe Prentice has committed to Baylor. That was some news recently. And you have N'Keal Bentrade committed to Syracuse. Keanu Coate to Vanderbilt, Jalil Hurley to Kansas, and Devontae Smith to Notre Dame. All right. Like I said, I'll update the graphic with taking Jaylen Mbakwe out in just a second. Same thing with this. I need to update this. And as you can see, like right here, I have Jaylen Mbakwe. Like I did this morning. I had no idea if he was even in the portal still because it seemed like he was starting to trend this direction, which is staying with Alabama. So here's kind of a look to where all the guys have gone. I'll read through this real quick. Of course, you guys know Jaylen Mbakwe is not leaving. He is staying. That's the title of this video. But a couple other guys. Looks like Caleb Odom is going to be visiting Colorado and North Carolina, right? You have Dylan Lonergan linked to Boston College and Syracuse. Emmanuel Henderson linked to Kansas just recently. Jaheim Otis committed to Colorado. Jalil Hurley committed to Kansas. Keanu Coate, Vanderbilt, as we discussed. So you have 4 wide receivers that hit the transfer portal, right? Dr. Ramu, what's up, man? You know who look like a genius right now? Isaiah Bond. Isaiah Bond is a good player, man. Here's some targets, though. This is a key graphic. So this is all fluid. Things are changing, right? So we'll probably come back tonight and update some of this stuff that needs to be updated. But I appreciate you guys being here for the breaking news of Jaylen Mbakwe staying with the University of Alabama. So let me read you this graph real quick. I wanted to put this in kind of a chart just so we could see it. It could be organized. If you look to notes in the red over here, this is a new visitor, like guys who are kind of new to the board. The yellow is like either off the board or a player that has committed, right? Or a player that has been predicted to Alabama. So start up at the top, as I spoke about, Cameron Calhoun. He's a new visitor. He's a defensive back out of Utah. You also have Khalid Tafi, right, out of Washington. He's an offensive lineman. I don't know when these guys will be visiting, but they're going to be visiting soon, as well as Cam DeBerry out of Texas A&M. On the bottom, you have Nakai Hill-Green out of Colorado most recently. He's a new visitor. So that's kind of a snapshot looking at the targets for the Alabama Crimson Tide. And if there's anybody else that you see, feel free to hit me up inside the comment box. This is another new one. You also have Mario Craver, who just committed to Texas A&M. I think that happened today. News happens fast. It's absolutely crazy. We have 569 up in the house. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for joining me right here on Bama Football on YouTube. But here's kind of a look. And, guys are going to go elsewhere. Ole Miss is going to get theirs. Texas A&M is going to get theirs. Alabama's going to get theirs. Grandy Papi is like, I hate college sports now. Roll Tide Probs is like, hey, I think we need to get Zachariah Branch. That would be prolific. Hey, Hunter, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, and you'll see some edits that I have to make on this other one too. There's a couple things that I see, I see right there. I need to update Justice Haynes' spelling in his name. I need to take Jaylen Mbakwe off. So I'll be working on those for the night show. We do all the graphics in-house. When I say we, I mean I pretty much do all of them. And if T's here, she obviously helps. I did see JoJo Earl back in the transfer portal. Yeah, that was interesting. This was it. This was bingo. We got action. So that's what it meant last night. It was pretty much that Ryan Williams was able to get Jaylen Mbakwe. I wanted to show you the wide receiver room, okay? Because I was thinking about the wide receiver room going into this bowl game, and it got me thinking. I was like, damn, with all these transfers that are out, who's going to be eligible for this upcoming bowl game? Trainwreck 70 saying Khalid Tafi is going to be coming to Bama. Yeah, I think that would be good in terms of depth. Josh is curious to see who's funding Ole Miss. I don't know, man, but it seems like they just have enough. Okay, so you have 4 transfers out right here from the wide receiver room, right? Kobe, Kendrick, Emmanuel Henderson, Caleb Odom. And Roll Tide Probs is asking, hey, Kyle, I have a question. Do you think that DeBoer will play Bach at receiver during the bowl game? Yeah, I do. Because I started looking at this graphic right here. I mean, look, you have Jeremy Bernard. And then you have a few guys that are injured, which really knocks down the depth at this position right here going into the Reliant Quest Bowl, right? Let's say Jeremy Bernard and Ryan Williams. And I don't think you're going to see like a completely different defense or a completely different offense against Michigan. I think it's going to be the same offense. And I understand that might disappoint you, but you know, you still have the same quarterback. And yeah, if you're asking about Emmanuel Henderson, Crimson Dad, he hit the portal, I think yesterday. I have no idea why he did it, but he did hit the portal. And I know he's looking at Kansas. Augie inside the comment box. I have a question for you, Kyle. In your opinion, who do you think is the number 1 guy that we need in the portal? You know, I really like the prospect that I was mentioning in the beginning of the show, Nakai Hill-Green as an inside linebacker. I think you have somebody like him and Deontay Lawson. I think that would be great for the defense. But I really feel that Alabama just hasn't found the right tackle that they're looking for. And guys are always hitting the transfer at the transfer portal at different times. So maybe they just haven't found kind of that missing piece. That's what I'm saying. Like, Lance is probably right. I agree with Lance. It's like nothing, right? Like, you want to spend it wisely. And if you're going to go in and go heavy and get somebody the same caliber as like Caden Proctor, you got to be patient. You got to see what's out there. But I think Isaiah Horton out of Miami would also be a nice addition to the wide receiver room. But here's the wide receiver room going into this Reliant Quest Bowl. The blue stamps say injured. So Cole Adams, he's injured. Jalen Hell is injured. Bubba Hampton, I think he's a little bit banged up right now. So really, you only have, 5 receivers? Because Latair Brooks and Derek Meadows, they're not eligible to play yet. And I don't think they're coming here until January anyways. So everybody, so I guess Pete Nakos, who breaks a lot of news, is saying that Jaylen Mbakwe, one of the biggest things that he wanted was more reps on the field. And he wants some time on the offensive side of the ball. So, yeah, Roll Tide Probs, I think like you're saying, I think what you're going to see is Jaylen Mbakwe play offense for the bowl game. Now, I don't want to piss anybody off, but and maybe he puts it in his contract. I don't know if this exists, but think about it. Hey, you have to throw me the ball, 40 times this coming season. I don't know. But does that exist? I have no idea. But I bet you these type of things, you're going to have to cross these different boundaries. Hey, I will stay for $400,000, but I have to get 40 passes. Maybe, who knows? I have no idea if this exists, but what if there was some sort of incentive to throw it to Ryan Williams X amount of times? Maybe that's why Jalen Milroe threw it to him 25 times or whatever against Tennessee. But yeah, I would imagine, I guess, that Jaylen Mbakwe is going to play wide receiver and probably defensive back. against Michigan. Alex is asking how many days left into the transfer portal. The transfer portal doesn't close for Alabama until January 5th. Justin C., what's up? Inside the comment box. Ole Miss finished number 17 in recruiting average NIL cost, 93,000. Bama finished number 3, 957. That's how Ole Miss gets the portal done. They spend on the portal, not here. Well, you know, I think that's interesting too. Is like, you know, for all you like guys who are interested in recruiting, I saw a graphic, and it kind of illustrates, you know, where the class of 2023 is. There's only like 20% of the guys that are left here. So while you're excited about future guys coming, keeping those guys, that's not going to be the case anymore. Where you really are starting to see teams build up at is a transfer portal. No guys are going to sit, wait, and develop, and not everybody is going to have Ryan Williams vouching for them, right? Like Ryan Williams played a huge role in getting Jaylen Mbakwe to stay, but other guys aren't going to have that support. And we've learned this too. Spending does not buy a championship. As Scott mentioned, Ohio State, they're not going to win the title. Texas A&M was really the first team to do that. They didn't win a title, right? Ole Miss tried to do it. They didn't make the playoffs. But here's your receiving room. I mean, shoot, I'm gonna probably for tonight's show, I'm gonna put Jaylen Mbakwe on here as well as a wide receiver. Yeah, and as Jarvis says inside the comment box, I mean, Ryan Williams is absolutely locked in. And I think with the NIL deals here that he's receiving based off his own merits, and with you know, whatever Alabama can play him too, I'm sure he's more than comfortable. I see a lot of comments regarding Zachariah Branch. I felt that he didn't have the season that we thought he was going to have this coming season. Tonight's show will go at 7:30. I popped on here because it's live, right? Like it is like breaking news. Yes, and Zachariah Branch is in the portal. Yes, him and his brother from USC. And you have to be, look, there's only one football. How are you going to distribute to all your guys? I don't know. Like, you got to keep Jaylen Mbakwe happy, right? If he's coming playing wide receiver, I don't think he wants to be a blocker, right? He wants the ball. Ryan wants the ball. Jeremy Bernard, we don't know if he's going to come back, right? I'm sure all these other wide receivers want the ball too. But the good thing is you're going to have a quarterback that can operate the offense, you know, differently than Jalen Milroe. I don't, you know, you're just going to have to think about different things. The Reliant Quest Bowl on December 31st. What's your interest level in this game on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. I've been asking that and kind of checking the pulse. I think it's a little bit higher, you know, now considering you're going to see some new faces on the field. You get all the captains that are going to play. I think this is an absolute must-win game for Alabama. They cannot lose this game because if you lose a game like this to Michigan, an unranked team, you lose a team like you lose a game like this. And what's scary about this game is the players who don't get opportunities or don't get catches, like they could bounce out a couple days after. Ephraim saying 0. But it's going to be the same offense. Like, you think if you have the same quarterback, you're going to have the same offense. So just be prepared for that. The Alabama players that are going to play and that have not opted out, Milroe, Miller, Bernard, Booker, Roberts, Overton, Lawson, Campbell, Damani. Michigan has a bunch of guys that didn't that opted out. I'll go back to the top of the show. And if you're just joining us and if you missed it, Jaylen Mbakwe is staying at the University of Alabama. Let me ask you something. And I see you guys are eager to call into the show. I think I might do a call-in show maybe tomorrow. So we'll run through some stuff tonight and then kind of like end cap how you've been doing it. And then I'll come back with the call-in show tomorrow. And another thing, heads up, if you're accustomed to my lives, I'm be out of town. I'm going back to see my mother and my father, take my kids to New Mexico for Christmas. So I'll be out of town for a little bit starting Thursday, but we'll still have our shows. Might be a different setup, but we'll still have our shows. Kind of the news upon news, and I have a ticker at the bottom that kind of headlines the topics that we're tracking. So one more time, Jaylen Mbakwe is staying at the University of Alabama. That's the most important. That's the lead. Nakai Hill-Green is visiting. He is from Colorado. He's an inside linebacker. Cameron Calhoun, he's out of Utah. He is visiting. You also have Cam Dewberry visiting as well. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. And then we went over the transfer portal target list. So just be patient. I keep on, this would be the thing. Like, this is a big win, keeping guys from getting out of the portal. And I didn't really see Alabama fight that hard for anybody else. They wanted Jaylen Mbakwe, and I think you should really be excited about Jaylen Mbakwe as well. Whether he's in a reserve position or whether he's playing both sides of the football, whether he's playing a little bit of wide receiver, some husky, returning punts, I don't know. Oh, yeah, Trainwreck. I'll definitely be doing some live shows from, pretty much all my shows starting next week will be on the road. All right, fam. Well, there's your news as it happens. Jaylen Mbakwe staying home with the University of Alabama. Good news your way. I know there's a lot of news that happens fast, but you're in a good place. This is good news. Be thankful. Be grateful. Be positive if you can. I'll catch you guys live tonight at around 7:30. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for spending some time with me this afternoon for this breaking update regarding Jaylen Mbakwe. Very important part to the foundational pieces here at the University of Alabama. I appreciate you guys so much. Please make sure that you subscribe and you hit all notifications so you know when we go live on breaking news. I appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of your afternoon. Catching up with you guys tonight. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube.